Hello, real estate investor. This is Edwin, and today we are going to be going over your client portal. This portal is really important. This will allow you access to not only create new loan files, you can provide documentation and update data on your existing loan files as they are going through the process. And even more importantly, if you have a loan file that, let's say it's a fix and flip, or you have escrowed funds set aside for construction or some other purpose, you can access those and you can see what the status of those funds are, especially if you're requesting a draw. All of that can be handled on the portal. So the instructions for accessing the portal, as far as the email address and the password, were all provided to you in a previous email. So if you're watching this video, you probably have access to the portal, or you are watching the video to prepare for access to the portal. Either way, this is the portal. Very simple, very easy. You will have a link you'll go to. It is highly recommended that you save the link. It is also highly recommended that you use this portal either in Chrome or Firefox or Mozilla. So those are the primary web browsers that this portal works the best with. If you use it with Safari or some other web browser, there may be issues. So we highly recommend Chrome, Firefox, or Mozilla. If you're there, you can simply save this as a bookmark, and then that way you can always come back. You don't have to search through your emails. You don't have to reach back out to us to request the login information. You can have this on on standby. And then, of course, you want to remember me and then log in. Now, this first video, we're just going to do a real quick high-level overview, and then we'll start diving into some of the specifics. So don't be overwhelmed with a lot of this information. I'm going to go ahead and close these, and we will explain all of this later. But first, let's start off over here on the left-hand side. This is your main menu section. So at the top, you can create a quick app or full app, and we'll dive into the differences of those and why you may want to choose one over the other. But this is where you can create a loan request. It is sent in to us, and then we begin the review process depending on which one you submitted. The pipeline. By default, your home view is the pipeline view. So as you can see, it's highlighted blue. This is by default what you are viewing. On the pipeline, it has the different stages. Now, depending on your loan program, there could be different stages that are visible right here and not. And depending on, what status that you have with the company, whether you're an experienced borrower, whether you're doing joint ventures or some other unique structure, you may have additional stages, and we call them statuses, file statuses. You may have additional file statuses across the top, but by default, these are going to be your most common. You have your full app. This tells us how many loans you currently have in full application, how many are in processing, how many are in underwriting, how many are closing, how many are being serviced, and then on deals that are on hold, meaning there's something that's preventing that deal from moving forward. We may move it over here, especially if it's a long-term hold, such as you were purchasing a property from probate and we're having to wait for everything to go through the courts. You may be able to fill out the full app. We'll get everything approved and ready to rock and roll, but we're just waiting for the court date to be completed with the probate. So we may move that file into hold, and then whenever it's completed, we'll move it back into full app or processing. So those are your different primary statuses. Again, there may be additional, there may not be as many, there may be more, just depending on your relationship with the company. So going back over here to the left, we also have calculators. Yes, this is a glitch. We understand the calculators are exactly the same. There is no difference. The dev team is working on that, but it is not exactly the highest of priority. So if you're watching the video and then you log in and you only see one calculator, there we go, we fixed it. Until then, just know that you have multiple opportunities to calculate. And of course, these are just regular calculators that you can use in your decision-making process, whether you're going to do a loan or not. So these calculators do not affect any of your loans at all. These are just standalone calculators for your benefit and use. Now, this is the left-hand menu. Let's go across the top-hand menu because this is where some powerful things are at. You can add sticky notes. The search function, it works, but It's right now it's still in development stage, so we're still developing to see what the search bar would include, because most of your information is right here anyway. So it's sort of in a hold pattern right now for the search bar. You can add sticky notes. You can create a note. You can show all notes. You can hide notes. Creating a sticky note simply does this: create a sticky note, and then you can have it on your desktop. So let's say you've got a sticky note for, let's just say order BPO. All right. So let's say that was your responsibility. For some reason, we required that you order the BPO. That's not going to happen, but just for namesake, that's what you would do. And then there you go. Now you've got a sticky note, and it's something that is there. You can see it whenever you log in, and it allows you to stay on top of tasks that you want to be quickly visible whenever you log in. So anything that you delete or change system-wide, it will drop down, will come up right here. Make sure you either validate or invalidate that request. Activity log. This is important because it allows you to actually see what we are doing in the back office. So, if you log in and you haven't seen activity for days, that's a big red flag. That will not happen with us. However, this allows you to actually see what's taking place on your different loan files in the back office. So this is really important. It allows us and yourself to see that there's activity, that there's progress being made on all of your loan files. And then here is really one of the more powerful things. You can click on your name, user profile right here. You can log out, you can adjust your user profile, and you can change your password. So you have a default system password set. There's different ways that we create that password, but it's a system default, and you can go in and change that password to whatever you want right here. Now, the user profile, that's really powerful, and we're going to dive into that the next video. But this adjusting your user profile will significantly improve the time that it takes to complete the loan request, meaning that it will reduce the time, because all the data that you can put in here will actually automatically populate every time you create a new loan request, which is really powerful, because that means you're saving a lot of time re-entering the same data over and over. Now you can go in here, you can adjust it, and then you're off to the races. You can submit all your loan requests, and all of the personal and entity data is already plugged in. You're really then only having to focus on the entity. So thank you very much, real estate investor. This has been Edwin, and this has been covering your portal. Just a quick overview.